It's time for a PlayStation episode. State of play, and I have allergies. And it's that time of the year.
Yup. Got out to my car this morning, started driving, was like, why am I driving through smoke? Oh, that's just fucking pollen all over my windshield.
Yeah, there's been a few where I've walked outside or whatever. I'm just like, oh great, I'm gonna sneeze and be stuffy within 5 minutes of getting into work.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. Yum, yum, yum. Gamers 2 Podcast. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interests. Like pollen and I don't know. I don't have anything else this week.
More pollen.
More pollen. It's been a boring week for myself. Nothing exciting at all. Even Sony's State of Play, not exciting.
Well, you know what that means? We should talk about some new releases.
Was there any?
There were some.
Okay.
Things like Cataclysm Classic came out.
Oh.
Who cares? Hellblade 2 is officially out.
Okay. That's true. Oh, well, didn't that come out last week?
Yes. I forgot my dates.
Okay.
I don't think I brought it up last week.
That's true. Now you mentioned it, I don't think you did. I have not played. I haven't played it yet. I know of a coworker who has played it, and I don't want to say he was disappointed because he wasn't disappointed, but it's not an improvement over the first game.
Gotcha. Also from last week, because I didn't talk about it, World of Goo 2
World of Goo
for the Switch and Multiverses for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox. So that being said, shall we?
We shall.
We'll get to the meat of this episode here pretty quick.
Yeah, we're starting off on a low note, but that's fine.
Speaking of getting let off, what a terrible segue. Number one, parents and victims of the 2022 Robb Elementary School shooting in, is that Uvalde? I never remember.
Uvalde,
Texas, are suing Activision and its parent company, Microsoft. Dual lawsuits were filed in California and Texas last Friday, which marked the second anniversary of the shooting where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed by an 18-year-old gunman. Instagram and its parent company, Meta, were also included in the suit, in addition to gun manufacturer Daniel Defense, for their alleged role in grooming the teenager into becoming a shooter. Activision was described as being the most prolific and effective marketer of assault weapons in the United States, referring to alleged gun product placement in the Call of Duty games. The suit claimed that within a week of the gunman downloading Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2021, he bought a gun that had been featured in the game and used in promotional material. Both Activision and the ESA have released statements. The ESA statement reads, quote, "We are saddened and outraged by senseless acts of violence. At the same time, we discourage baseless accusations linking these tragedies to video gameplay, which detract from efforts to focus on the root issues in question and safeguard against future tragedies. Many other countries have similar rates of video gameplay to the United States, yet do not see similar rates of gun violence," end quote. So
there it is.
It is it has always been a thing that you will immediately go blame video games. That is just a fact of existence.
Mm-hmm. For video games, it was rock and roll.
Yep. Yeah.
And then
D&D.
D&D.
The Devil.
Yep. TV went through it as well.
Yep.
Okay.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. They were evil.
No, ankles. If you go back further. Woman showing ankles.
Ankles?
Yeah, like a woman showing ankles.
Oh, it's like, where are we going with this one?
That's satanic.
Yeah.
Burn those people. It's one of those things for me where we've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure, so I'm not going to rehash too far into it. But it's such a faceted discussion that to just say he downloaded Call of Duty and then 2 days later bought a gun, therefore Call of Duty is the solution, the problem. Banning Call of Duty is the solution. It's like, what? If I do anything, and then 2 days later do something else. If I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then crash my car, is the solution to not eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches?
I just
Technically a completely hyperbolic example, but
yes. I mean, even if,
not to mention the number one seller of what do they describe Call of Duty as?
Most prolific and effective marketer of assault weapons
in the United States.
I disagree.
That's the military.
I was going to say, I disagree. I think that might be the United States military.
That is the military constantly playing advertisements during any televised anything to join them.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty sells 80 million copies a year. The military is airing commercials all the time.
Yeah. Also, I question the effectiveness. If your point is to change something,
Which I don't even know if that's their point.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I want to take that.
Is-
I want taking this lawsuit in good faith.
And
If your
point
point
isn't
is to change, is to affect change,
money.
I don't think suing is going to do anything. It's only going to make the lawyers richer.
Right.
Like,
for
so-
sure. Yeah.
I mean, you might get a settlement. You might,
I don't know.
like the victims of this, the might end up getting some sort of monetary gain, which is not inconsequential. But
Now, the funny thing is, I don't know Daniel Defense.
Daniel Defense is one of the more well known and well regarded AR-15 manufacturers. They supply AR-15s for the Army and like special
Sure.
forces, that type of thing.
But like, is 18,
Mm-hmm.
not underage, which is a key part.
Also wild that an 18-year-old bought a Daniel Defense AR-15. They're like $2,000.
Right. So there's like a lot of other questions.
Yeah.
I guess how do you include Instagram and Meta?
I guess it's the whole
Because
like
there was an Instagram reel that Daniel Defense put up that was a gun. maybe.
I think see, this is kind of the thing, is the lawsuit's like a wide,
Yeah, they're
casting a wide net, because you're accusing video game makers of, I guess, marketing
guns
guns. You're accusing Daniel Defense of
selling guns.
selling guns. You're accusing Meta of
Promoting, probably.
their algorithm, I guess, causing extremism.
Maybe.
It's a
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, I don't know.
For the record, not good.
Yeah.
That, obviously, I'm pretty sure Matt and I are on multiple records of school shootings are bad.
I think that's a safe statement.
It should be a pretty fucking safe statement, but it needs to be clear.
Yeah.
School shootings are bad. The
Yeah.
Vegas shooting is bad. Any
shootings-
any shooting is bad.
Yes.
It's not like hard to get to that point. I don't know why some people are like, well, and it's like, what do you mean, well? Now, when that comes to the turnaround where it goes, well, what are you and Matt going to do about it? It's like, well, I don't really know, because it's a very complicated issue.
Yeah, I'm not out. If we're being 100% honest,
But
nothing
it
I'm
being-
going to do about it.
in it
Other
being a
than-
complicated issue, I can
Other
tell
than not shoot anyone.
right, not be involved myself. But it's like when you talk about affecting change or whatever, it's like I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you when you're looking at the wrong way,
Yeah.
because you just broad stroked an entire industry
Mm-hmm.
to just be like technologies. And it's like, well, are we going to go back through and end up finding, if somebody dug through X amount of files going back 7 years, that it started when the kid was 11?
Yeah. You just don't know.
Exactly. So anyway, let's
Yeah.
get away from shooting.
Moving on to other things that are terrible. No. Number 2, Amazon will be.
Oh no, you were right. Yeah,
yeah,
Amazon,
there we are. Jeff Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos. Amazon will be publishing Maverick Games' debut
Every
title.
now and then I think about that.
Yeah. The
Come on,
unannounced
Jeffrey, you can do it.
the unannounced driving game will be open world and narrative led and release across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Co-creator of TV show Skins, Jamie Britton, is on board as the game's lead writer. Maverick was founded by Playground Game veterans in January 2023. It is run by COO Harinder Sangha and studio head and creative director Mike Brown, and currently employs around 60 people in Warwick, UK. Amazon Games VP Christoph Hartman said, quote, Mike and his team are the total package. Proven game developers who are masters at their craft and aren't content with the status quo. Their vision for this game is fresh and innovative. End quote.
I mean, like, listen, whatever.
Yeah.
Fresh and innovative is always a real...
Yeah.
Fresh and innovative to who?
Especially when you're talking about a driving game.
From Playground,
Yeah.
who's already been pretty wide open.
I'm always concerned. I mean, do I want this? Yes. But I'm always concerned when I hear it. Driving game that's narrative led.
Yeah, that's always... I never want that. Just to be clear.
I'm not adverse to the idea of it because I think I'm sure if someone did it well,
when's the last time it was done well?
it's never been done well.
Wrong. Most Wanted.
I would argue that still was mediocre at best.
Sure, I give you mediocre, but it's the best example of a narrative racing.
Oh yeah, which is kind of the point. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'll know it when I see it.
Just be the CEO. Show me. No, not that. Show me again. Nah, it's still not that.
Which
Keep
is
going.
kind of goes back to the first story we're talking about. I'll know it when I see it, but what you're doing right now is not it.
Yeah, it's the. It's for the record. Need for Speed has tried this twice now.
Lately, we should say.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking atrocious.
They tried it with Heat. They like pushed that with Heat.
Yeah.
That the whole thing was that you were a story, and it's like the problem for me with those is the story has to come second.
Yeah.
To the gameplay, which is why Horizon. The story there is, haha, it's a festival, go nuts.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I want. I don't want to hear
It's a silly vehicle to deliver you all the vehicles.
Right. I don't want to hear about fucking Pedro's girlfriend broke up with him, so we have to go do these races to get her back. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I want to race. I want to have fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give me that, and then if you give me the Most Wanted version, which is the, hey, racing this really nice car, then you're going to get busted. We're going to take it away from you, and you got to start from scratch, working your way back up the blacklist because you get busted. You basically do a Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Tell the story of the first Fast and Furious. You get busted by the cop, an undercover cop, and then you have to climb your way back up a list. Okay. That is a very simple racing story that can be done. And people will be like, but it's not original. And I'm like, have you seen some original writing lately? It sucks.
I don't know if you necessarily need to be original as long as there is of some quality.
You know what I don't need? I know what the problem is. You know what I don't need? A lot of cutscenes. I don't need... There's probably a number. If I probably found this, right? Like, say for Heat specifically. Heat has a lot of cutscenes for what I would say for a racing game.
Uh-huh.
I wonder what the number of that is versus phone calls in the car. Like, you know how they'll have the cell phone talk while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, can I just hang up? I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much, if I end-to-end timestamp, how much audio is there of talking in Heat through phone calls like that? Where they go, okay, we won't give you a cutscene. You just get to read the story.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if the story was, I'm gonna beat you in a race. No, you aren't. Vroom vroom. What if that was the story?
That's fucking Midnight Club right there.
Fucking basically. It's like, what if it was that simple and the entire thing was just them, like, I don't want to say edging you, but like, that sounds, but like, oh, you're going to constantly, you're going to be doing these races to get a chance to go up against the number one guy who is, for the first like few races, going to put you in your place. Like, it's basically cheating. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You ran a few races. And then he pulls up next to you at like a red light and is like, what's up? You want to give it a shot? You think you got what it takes now? You think you're hot shit? Round the first corner, NOS gone. And you're like, where do I get NOS? Like,
it's kind of like the question of like, how do you
beat the bully is the best racing story.
Yeah. I think the only way, like, you could go that route, or you just have to go like super
arcade.
No, I was gonna say like super, like, I don't know, go like Gran Turismo style, where you basically have a career. And
right.
You're just like,
but I would
make it sim like almost where you have to fucking like sim a career and like do contracts and shit.
But I would like that. I mean, that was kind of in Project Cars.
Yeah.
That's kind of how your career worked in there. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather them almost do it like a Cyberpunk style, where you pick your background.
Yeah.
You're a street racer. You're a competition racer. You
started karting when you were 8 years old because your parents were.
Yeah, you're a mechanic or whatever. So it's like, okay, you either are racing, you're trying to get your own car, you're using somebody's car, or you're a professional. And it's like, okay, now tie those stories to meet into a meeting point to get like a part or a car or something. And then start now telling a story which it's a fallout, it's a come up, it's a whatever story to kind of take things back and be in this. But don't tell me it's a racing city, because there's that real big ice. What are we doing? There's this real big iceberg moment where they go, no, yeah, Night City, known for its racing scene. And it's like, does nobody else do anything else in this town? Do they just everybody race? All these buildings, useless. They're all out racing.
Yeah.
Nobody lives in these apartments.
My favorite racing game is still Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed.
Which, again,
because I just
think you're wrong, but like, I understand.
You're just driving through the history of Porsche, basically. You're going through the eras, just racing all the different.
But you're doing it without being shoved up your own ass like Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, my favorite racing game, period, is original Most Wanted.
Okay.
I played it on the GameCube a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
That was after I played Underground 1 and 2.
Yeah. I prefer Underground over Most Wanted.
Which is fair. I can't complain. Listen, when you boot up Underground, I think it was Underground 2 specifically, and you hear Riders on the Storm, there's a vibe that you get, and you're like, yeah. But then when I'm playing Most Wanted, and I have, I think I was rocking a Miata for a hot minute in there, and then I was running an MX-7, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something about that just felt good, like climbing the list and doing that stuff, and like, yeah. And then you get to
listen. I still get goosebumps whenever I see someone who has made or see the real BMW fucking GTR thingamajigger.
Yeah. And then when I first played Horizon, I went, oh, yeah, I got that feeling back, because Need for Speed was dead to me after Most Wanted, because they changed how their mechanics went in my head. And also,
Horizon's good shit.
Project Cars, was really good.
The last one, other than Horizon, that did it for me was actually fucking Drive Club.
Right, which I believe that. They did it for quite a few people I know. Yeah. But Project Cars was really good for like track racing again.
Mm-hmm.
Which I got a little bit with Pro Street, but it wasn't 100% the same from Need for Speed. But actual like competition racing, Project Cars was great. And then Horizon, where they're like, hey, do you want to have a fun arcade racer? Oh, this is the best there is.
What was that Xbox one? Was it Project Gotham Racing? Is that what it was called?
There is a game called that.
I think that was the one. There was one, I think it was original Xbox. Maybe it was Xbox 360. I can't remember. It might have been 360.
There's also Grid.
And I think it was Project Gotham Racing. And that one was really fucking good. And I used to just throw on. I think it was 360 because I think you could. It was like the first time you could play your own music while you were playing a game.
Gotcha.
And I threw on like a Linkin Park CD or something. And I was
racing, yeah. So now just all of a sudden Meteora's playing as your.
Or it was AFI. It was an AFI CD.
Oh, wow. Does anybody even know who AFI is listening to this?
Oh, I'm old. Okay.
Number 3, Google has started rolling out its Playables feature on YouTube. The in-app arcade is available to play on desktop, iOS, and Android, featuring over 75 games, including Angry Birds Showdown, Words of Wonders, and Cut the Rope. All games that you know right now. Playables is still unavailable to some users, with Google saying in a blog post that it's widening availability over the coming months. Wow. YouTube began testing its playable feature last September to a limited number of people. It was then made available to YouTube Premium subscribers in November. You want to know what I'm not going to do?
Playables.
Nailed it.
Number 4. Staff at Intercept Games have reported layoffs will be taking place at the studio next month. Numerous employees at the Kerbal Space Program developer shared the news on LinkedIn, including senior design manager Quinn Duffy, who wrote that the team is expected to be made redundant on June 28th. Software engineer John Delvale and principal engineer Mark Jones also confirmed the date in separate posts. The news comes after a report by Bloomberg published in May that suggested the planned closure of Intercept Games alongside UK developer Roll7. A warn notice was also filed in Washington State, which detailed the closure of a Take-Two office on June 28th, with 70 workers affected by layoffs. Following these reports, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said in an interview with IGN that it hadn't shut down either studio, which I guess technically was true because at that point they hadn't. A spokesperson for the publisher said that its private division label will continue to make updates to Kerbal Space Program 2.
Wild.
Luckily, I think we're winding down from layoffs.
For now.
Yeah, for now. That's a good point.
It'll kick back up in like September.
Mm-hmm.
As more games come out and then they go, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Number 5, Sony Interactive Entertainment has given an update on its console business, revealing that 50% of its users are now on PS5, while the other half are on PS4. In a company briefing, the platform holder said that PS5 is already on the brink of surpassing the revenue of PS4, and operating income is already bigger at $10 billion. In fact, the firm says that the PS5 is the most profitable console generation so far. More fascinating statistics can be found where consumers are spending that money. The firm revealed the revenue per console is $731 for PS5 versus $580 for PS4. Which, hey, price rises, higher tiers on games, accessories, services, the usual. Spending on accessories is up 34%. It's a lot.
That is.
PlayStation Plus is up 57%, which, no shit, they raised the prices like motherfuckers. While add-on content is up 176%. Now, I have a problem with that number.
Live service games?
What does that mean?
Live service games.
Do you count microtransactions as
Yes.
add-on content?
Yes.
What a dumb statistic. However, sales of games have dropped 12%. Live service games.
There you go.
Over the previous generation, which speaks to the shift towards live service games and gamers engaging with fewer titles for longer. We also got a breakdown of the PlayStation Plus user base in 2023. 65% are on essential plans, 16% on extra plans, and 19% on premium plans. In terms of its games release strategy, Sony committed to continuing to build AAA single-player narrative games, as well as more experimental concepts alongside its new push into live service projects. A push that will surely blow up in their face.
Oh, yeah.
9 development teams are working on live service games, as opposed to the 7 focusing on single-player games with a narrative focus. It says that the live service games will launch across PC and console at the same time, while the AAA single-player titles will begin on console and come to PC later. The firm says it hopes people who discover these games on PC will then move to PlayStation 5 to access the next game faster.
Out of fucking touch.
They won't move.
They will wait.
They will either wait or borrow, or they might buy a PlayStation, sure.
Yeah.
But move is greedy.
Yeah. And that's what you said is exactly what I read. So, like, I read some comments on various articles and various subreddits, and it was essentially that what you just said, where people was like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm a PC gamer. I don't think you understand how PC gamers work. We will just wait. And then someone's like, yeah, I have a PS5 and that's it. Like, no one's like, I'm going to go buy a PS5. They're just like, I'll just fucking wait and get it cheaper.
It's the entertaining part of, a mix of how many times do you have to teach you this lesson, old man? That's not a little Inigo Montoya. You keep saying that. I don't think you know what it means. And then there's just me going, I speak for the people. I'm the Lorax of the video game world. I speak for the trees.
Yeah. There's so much wildness in here, though. Like the fact that I would say that I think there's been far less good games released for the PS5 than like the PS4 so far.
Okay.
Yet, the PS5 is the most profitable console generation so far. So, like, obviously they're making more money on less things.
Right.
But then you still get the belly aching of, like, we got to do all these layoffs and, like,
right, yeah. Well, every time we do this studio is laying off half its people, we follow it with the next week of, and they have record-breaking sales numbers. Yeah. And it's just like, so you guys are just pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's like these two things don't add up unless you're a fucking asshole. Yeah, I don't know.
Can't spell CEO without asshole.
It's just craziness. It's just all craziness. Is there anything else interesting we want to talk about?
Not yet. More Sony later.
Yeah, that's true.
Where this will rehash itself again.
Yep. All right. I'll just keep on rolling.
Rolling.
Probably should have put these in a different order, but whatever.
Yep.
Last week, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was officially announced as this year's COD title. And now a new live action teaser has confirmed some rumored details.
I should have put this at number 2.
Yeah. New teaser trailer posted to the Call of Duty channel, YouTube channel, entitled Open Your Eyes. Hits the players with a barrage of 90s imagery. From Chia Pets to Bill Clinton to George H. Bush. Perhaps most notably, there are also lots of snippets of the Gulf War and a few sightings of Saddam Hussein.
All right, listen, I know it's a Call of Duty game.
Yes.
But when we're going to say barrage of 90s imagery and then list off Chia Pets, followed by Bill Clinton and George H. Bush, and then go, you know what? Gulf War, Saddam Hussein. That is a fucking thought line that is impossible for the best writers to come up with. Whoever comes up with that plot line needs to write the next driving game narrative.
I think we're going to find out,
the next narrative led driving game where they go, this Chia Pet looks like Saddam Hussein. Anyway, gotta go fast.
Since this is a Black Ops teaser, there's also a conspiratorial tone. Treyarch will certainly have a wide choice of conspiracy theories to pick from regarding the Gulf War. The teaser also contains a snippet of a cheesy 90s drama called Frank's Woods.
Oh, what a fun tie-in.
So he's coming back?
Well, of course. He never left.
The second live-action teaser, called The Truth Lies, was also released a day later. Former U.S. Presidents Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, as well as ex-UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and Iraq leader Saddam Hussein, combined to utter words from the shadows that allude to some grand conspiracy the players will presumably unravel over the course of COD Blops 6's campaign.
Let's be really clear. If that's the first 4 zombie characters, insane lineup.
Yes.
Absolutely insane lineup.
Perfect.
Oh, you're playing as Saddam Hussein? Yeah, I'm playing as Margaret Thatcher. Together to kill zombies. What the fuck?
Dude, I hope they do.
That would be wild. There's no way they would do that, but man, that would be insane.
I don't know.
We'll see more in a bit.
Yeah, we will. I guess we will.
I think sometime in the next month is when they're supposed to do the reveal. The official, event.
Well, there's the direct.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Next week.
Yeah. Number 7. Here we go. Time to be disappointed. Sony PlayStation held this summer's State of Play, getting the drop on the rest of the industry. And when I say drop, I mean they fell out of a tree.
It dropped a big pile of shit. That's what they
Here's
did.
a rough recap. Is this roughly in order? It looks
I
kind of in
think
order.
it is.
Nope, never
no.
mind. Nope, absolutely not. All right, so we're just going to go with these things, and we'll talk about each one of them individually. Firewalk showed off a cinematic trailer and in-engine gameplay from the colorful 5v5 competitive hero shooter, Concord. Starring a bunch of alien misfit adventurers, Concord is coming to PS5 and PC on August 23rd. And if you, too, want Guardians of the Galaxy 5v5 Great Value Edition, this game is for you. Unbelievably disappointing.
Yeah. The cinematic looked gorgeous, as it should.
Yeah, it looked gorgeous, but the life in it was non-existent.
Yeah, and I don't...
You shot a hot sauce bottle as a distraction. What are we doing?
Yeah, like, I don't like
What year is
this,
that?
like, trend of, like, cringe.
Yeah, we're no longer in a... You can get away with that in 2013 when the first Guardians comes out.
Yeah, it's just...
Because that's kind of the beginning of this trend and whatever. But you're now late. You cannot write like that anymore.
All these characters recently, they're, like, over the top like that. They just feel cringy to me.
But, like, if you literally flip it, human dude and the stoic girl flip green and white, and now you have Quill and Gamora.
Yep.
Drax is the guy with armor lock.
Yep.
And Groot is the fucking
Robot?
one-off. The robot.
There it is.
There you go. I don't know. It's just... I think it's at like a 75% or more dislike ratio right now on YouTube.
Yeah, which is fair. The gameplay looked generic, like by modern standards, looked pretty generic.
By modern standards, you look at it and you go, hero shooter.
Yep.
Okay. And there's just nothing that... And then they hit the thing, which was a selling point, which is confusing. They're like, each week we'll give you a new cutscene to tell you how you should feel about these characters. And it's like, What are you doing? Why? We're just doing a multiplayer game and you're just giving me cutscenes before I can even play the game?
Yeah. It's like they're trying to capture that, like, Fortnite.
Like Fortnite old Overwatch. So I don't just something. It's like a really weird. Like part of me wants to go. What is your audience? What is your target audience? What do you think they are? What game are you trying to pull them off of to play this?
I don't know. And then like, what if I'm so confused by Sony's thought process here because. So we have Fire Sprite with this fucking game Concord, which is a hero shooter live service game. Firewalk, thank you. Which is a hero shooter live service game.
Yep.
And you have, even if we include them in the list of 9, so there's 8 other live service games in
Bungie's got 3 of them
in development, and they're all the ones we've seen are all fucking the same, are all shooters.
Yep. Bungie's got 3 of them.
Which are all shooters.
Which is the Destiny expansion, which 100% is counted in this, Marathon, and their unannounced IP.
Yeah, which are all, you can almost guarantee it. I mean, I don't know about the unannounced IP, but at this point, you can almost guarantee it. They're all going to be some type of shooter that are all going to look and feel the same.
You're going to assume a Horizon multiplayer thing, probably?
Yeah, they did say they were going to do a Horizon multiplayer.
Yeah. And then 4 that are kind of like ambiguity, where we could probably guess. I mean, their live service is MLB The Show, but that's not in development, so...
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, I don't know. All right, so this game's not going to do well.
Nope.
Unless, the gameplay, all of a sudden, it feels amazing.
Or they magically shelve it and say, we'll come back next year.
And
we have to go build a single
What
player.
are they going to do? Because they're
brand new.
They're not going to pivot.
Stick to your guns, which is wild. But I don't think you have a choice. I think they're kind of stuck.
I know that's the thing. It's one
of those things where it's like I think your directors and C-suite potentially screwed you to not tell you to pivot,
especially
or
considering
to say you can do this, but you need to have something else.
So they put all their eggs in one basket,
and it blew up in their face.
And they just switched management. They just switched leadership.
Yeah.
So it's like
you need to doing this. I think is. It's what's the oh my god, why can't I remember the name of the game that went multiplayer first, single player later. Oh, Halo Infinite kind of did it, I guess, a little bit. But it's like you need to. If there was a way for them to craft a single player world, they should do it. But I don't think that was ever in their cards. So to do those resources would probably be insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's hard for me to comprehend the logic with this because like everything
there is none, which is the problem.
All the evidence we've seen through the history of modern shooters is that players don't want to jump from shooter to shooter to shooter to shooter. They stick with a franchise, and that's their main gig.
Especially like, live service to live service to live service.
Yeah, like I think there's a rarity of. I think the person who is trying every single live service shooter game is a fucking rarity.
Is a streamer,
and yeah, it's a streamer. But generally, you get Call of Duty players. That's why Call of Duty is so fucking big. Is because you play Call of Duty. If you want to play a shooter, you fucking play Call of Duty.
Yeah, you're
or you play Fortnite. You know, like there's a few mainstays that like that's what you play because you don't have the normal person doesn't have the time to invest in every fucking shooter.
Yep. It's wild to see this getting announced and watching people still try to catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
When lightning has already been caught.
Yeah.
And like it's not like they're doing something different. Where they're doing like, you know, some type of like Battlefield map evolution in the middle of it or anything. It's just
I feel like if you're Sony and you're releasing a shooter, you're releasing it with full knowledge that it's a temporary thing. Like, all right, this is going to have a 3-year shelf life.
Right.
We have 3 years of stuff planned out, and after 3 years, we move on to something else.
And even then, it's 3 years of stuff planned out while they are on those 3 years working on the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and it doesn't have to be another shooter. It can be like Killzone's a perfect example. Like, those weren't ever intended. That was prior to live service. But like, you know, that type of, unless you're a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or a Fortnite, or, you know, you're going to invest into making something like that, which Sony, I'm sorry, I don't have faith that you can do that. You should be releasing shit like, if you want to release a shooter, you release like a Killzone-esque game where it's like, here's a single player experience, here's multiplayer, it's going to be on for, you know, it's going to be the main thing for a couple years, and then something else is going to come out.
If it works out, we'll make a second one or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we move on to God of War Ragnarok, originally released on PlayStation 4 and 5 in 2022. We'll get its long-awaited Windows port on September 19th. You're going to get super ultra-wide display support, NVIDIA DLS 3.7, AMD FSR 3.1, Intel XeSS 1.3, which none of that means anything to you guys, but hey, guess what? Nerd specs.
Yeah.
Ragnarok on PC will also include the game's Valhalla DLC. Fun DLC. A PSN account will be required to play the PC version of God of War Ragnarok. Stupid, but whatever.
Obvious that they do that.
They need to. It's obvious that they do it, but it's obvious that they need to announce that from the beginning. You cannot pull a Helldivers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with. Obviously, I'm fine with Ragnarok being on PC, and I love that they're giving the game all of the PC features. Yep. You know, that hardcore PC players want. Yep. Like, you know, the ultra wide support and
DLSS,
all that fun stuff. I'm not okay with this being a major portion of a state of play.
Right, this should have been a throw-in.
Yeah, this seemed like a pillar of the state of play when it should have just been like a sizzle reel thing or something.
Yeah, the to be fair, this entire state of play felt like a sizzle reel, or could have been one.
Yeah.
Speaking of the best thing in this state of play,
okay.
Developer Team Asobi is handling all things Astro with its game Astro Bot, and like Astro's Playroom, it's steeped in love of all things PlayStation. Astro can transform into PlayStation's most famous characters, including Kratos, Aloy, and Nathan Drake, and even turn into a PlayStation 5 console. Astro Bot hits the PlayStation 5 on September 6th. This game looked the best out of all of them, and it's hysterical because it is fully PlayStation pilled.
Yeah. I mean, this one
looked good.
this one's gonna be probably the underrated one where like, you know, everyone's just like the mainstream people are just like whatever. But this would probably be the most fun to play just because of their integration of the PS5 controller.
Well, it's one of those where it's like you see it get a game of the year nod, and everybody goes, "What game is that?"
Yeah. And then you play it, and you're just like, "Wow, this is really fun because the controller does weird fucking shit, and
Right.
this is just goofy and
It
fun."
actually is, again, leveraging the tech
Yeah.
of a PlayStation 5.
It's just like a goofy platformer with like crazy fucking.
It had a little bit
tech.
of like Odyssey / Kirby with like the becoming items and doing the thing,
Mhm.
but then also had like Ratchet and Clank platforming and stuff. And I was like, yeah, exactly this.
Mhm.
Anyway, Marvel and NetEase's Team Base, speaking of hero shooters, Team Base Hero Shooter starring the heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe is coming to PlayStation 5. Marvel Rivals is currently in closed testing on PC, with the console version slated to arrive later this year. A console beta test will be available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in July. We already told you what we thought about that.
Yeah.
Capcom and Sony gave us a new look at Monster Hunter Wilds in 2025. Open world follow-up to Monster Hunter World in a new gameplay-focused trailer. It looked like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm not a
Looked
Monster
pretty.
Hunter person.
Looked pretty, but I think the issue is always like mechanics or ability balancing and gear and whatever, but
Mhm.
it looked pretty. Konami and Bloober Team's remake of horror classic Silent Hill 2 now has a release date. Silent Hill 2 is coming to PlayStation 5 on October 8th. A spooky new trailer shows what to expect from the new rendition. Not good enough graphics is the answer.
Yeah, and there was the Silent Hill transmission afterwards as well. And
Should have just been the siren. They should have done nothing else except had a foggy
Yeah.
screen and the siren.
I didn't watch the transmission, but
Neither did I.
one of my coworkers who's a horror game Silent Hill fan watched it and said he already had the game pre-ordered, but watching it actually made him less interested in the game.
I believe that. I think for me, it's one of the things where you go, when you think about it and you see that, and then you go, why did PT look better?
Yeah. And I guess it's like the video gameplay and stuff they showed was also stuttering, and it wasn't the
Wasn't as fit,
stream.
yeah.
It was
Koei Tecmo and Omega Force have a new mainline entry in the historical hack and slash Dynasty Warriors franchise. Dynasty Warriors Origins is coming to PlayStation 5 in 2025, also coming to PC and Series X.
yay.
Wild that to me the Dynasty Warriors is still going. But for me, it's one of those where it's like, I'll play it for like an hour or two, get my hack and slash in, and I'm like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
It did look pretty, though.
Yeah.
Grinding Gear Games' Path of Exile 2, the studio's next iteration of its free-to-play action RPG, is coming to PS5 as well as PC. The alternative to Diablo 4 is set years after the original Path of Exile, sending players to the dark world of Rayclast, where they will seek to end a spreading corruption. Early access starts on PlayStation 5 sometime this fall. Again, weird. They showed couch co-op as like the big thing, which is good. Like, so here's the thing with this one. I didn't give a shit because 90% of Path players are on PC,
Mm-hmm.
but having couch co-op is good, and they don't have Diablo 4 right now, so this can satiate the ARPG crowd. So, Supermassive Games interactive horror game Until Dawn comes to PlayStation 5 and Windows PC this fall. New and improved. A state of play, we got to look at what remaster studio Ballistic Moon has brought to the 2015 original, which didn't look like a lot.
Yeah.
I might have missed
I don't think you
technical
did
something, but like when I watched it, I went, yeah, it's Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Again, why did it take this long to put Until Dawn on PC?
As you probably know as well, I feel like PlayStation wasn't working on any PC ports, did a couple, realized they could make a lot of money, and they just started porting all their games because it's easy. And we've heard rumors and read other previous things and previous leaks that it's easy, and they're just like, all right, quick, they're hitting the port button, port, like.
Where Winds Meet got a reveal trailer showing it to be an open world action RPG with seemingly Souls-like vibes, though it's in development with no release date. Open world dress up adventure Infinity Nikki is coming to PS5 with a beta test expected soon, letting players explore a fantasy world with their furry friend Momo. Matt's favorite game.
Yeah, gotta put those dresses on, take those pictures.
The developer behind Pascal's Wager revealed its new game, Ballad of Antara, a very ambitious Souls-like action game coming to PS5 in 2025. According to the game's official description, quote, a faraway land is on the verge of being lost to a conflict from eons ago, and the invasion that followed it. Embark on a perilous journey, seek towering divine creatures to reclaim the twisted and lost fundamentals of the world, end quote. I do wonder, for all these Soul-like games, if Bloodborne fans were just sitting there seething.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just make Bloodborne 2! Alien Rogue Incursion is an intense single-player action horror game and the first Alien game developed especially for virtual reality, coming to PlayStation VR 2 from developer Survios this holiday season. One of 2 VR titles.
Yep.
Alien is one of those ones that should be an easy VR title.
Should be.
I say easy not in terms of ability to succeed, but it's a setting that makes sense.
Yes.
It's a setting that lends itself well to VR.
Yeah, I mean they ported did they port it? No, they made a mod, I think, that
For Isolation.
yeah. And it was really well received.
Skydance's Behemoth promises an adventure through strange otherworldly environments and battles against towering monsters with weighty VR combat and lifelike physics. PSVR 2 owners will be able to test those claims for themselves when Behemoth arrives later this year. And that was it for Sony's essentially E3.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
If I could play piano and play taps on it, I'd do that.
How does this make you feel about the rest of what's coming from Summer Games Fest and Xbox Showcase and all that?
So it depends on I guess what we kind of want to think about, right? There's the idea that the bar's low, so we can only go up.
Yeah.
There's the worry that if this is how we're starting, it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
And that everybody's kind of equaling the same things. But I'm thinking about it, and I was talking about it today a little bit, and I was thinking about it more, and I was like, Summer Game Fest might be okay. Because they'll pull from a variety of people and do some stuff. We'll have to deal with Hideo and whatever, but Keighley can't have a show without him, so I understand. Then it gets a little weird. There's the 2 shows on Saturday that are random, like Future Game Show and whatever. That, weird as they might be, might end up being some of the better ones because you're kind of in a what the hell's happening over here type of thing with no expectations.
Yeah.
My worry for Summer Game Fest isn't related to PlayStation. My worry for Summer Game Fest is related to Summer Game Fest and Keighley and doing the problem with the advertisements and everything else and whatever. My actual worry is for Ubisoft on Monday. They're the only ones that could do worse.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've already written them off.
I at work today wrote their show.
Yeah. Which we're going to talk about it. We're
in rumors, so.
We aren't because they've already said what's going to be there.
Oh, did they?
They did.
Did I write their show?
I mean, there wasn't many options, so.
Right, exactly. I did call for a few things out of left field, though.
Okay. Probably not then, because they only said 3 games.
They're going to do an entire thing and talk about 3 games.
Well, I don't, I'm assuming.
Was it a bad French translation?
I'm assuming they weren't saying this is all the games that are going to be there. I'm assuming it was like hey, these are some of the things that are going to be there.
Just Dance. Assassin's Creed.
Let me find it. They didn't mention Just Dance.
And Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, X Defiant.
Yep. Okay.
So,
I wrote their thing to my coworker. I was like, All right, so they're gonna walk out. Yves Guillemot is gonna come out. He's gonna do a French thing, and he's gonna get off the stage. And then some giant weird creature is gonna come out. And they're gonna announce Just Dance again. And then when they get done doing Just Dance, they're gonna pivot from Just Dance into another bright and colorful thing, but they're gonna slowly lose color throughout this presentation. So it's gonna be like Riders Republic or the Crew updates or something along those lines. And then they're gonna shift from that into X Defiant, and then they're gonna shift from X Defiant into Tom Clancy, and then so it'll probably go like Just Dance, Riders Republic, Star Wars Outlaws, X Defiant, Tom Clancy's entire catalog. But when they bring out Tom Clancy, his corpse, they they shoot the sign that says The Division, and everybody sees Splinter Cell show up behind it, and the crowd goes nuts. Yves Guillemot shoots the Splinter Cell sign and says, "Good joke." Then they show Rainbow Six Siege DLC. Everybody's like, "The game's not dead yet." Then
they're like, "Season 1 X Defiant."
Then they pretend, no, that's already happened.
Oh, okay.
We already moved past that. That happened early.
Okay.
That happened in the middle. Then they go, "We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're going to talk about Rainbow Six Siege DLC. The Division doesn't exist anymore. Don't think about it. Here is the next Ghost Recon," which everybody goes, "You're still doing this?" And then they end it by announcing 6 different Assassin's Creeds. They show you a 30-minute, it's a 1-hour presentation. 30 minutes of it is spent in the current Assassin's Creed. And then the last 5 minutes of that Assassin's Creed presentation is them going, "And there's a live service one coming and another one. Good luck. See you later. Bye." And then they get pulled off the stage with a cane around their neck.
Yeah.
Like the old yoink.
It's 100% plausible.
Yep. The French should hire me.
Yeah.
I can write you your exact scripts.
I have faith that the Xbox showcase is going to be decent.
Should be okay. There's enough that they have that they can do something where you go, "Okay, I'm listening."
Yeah.
PC Gamer will be weird. Always is.
Mm-hmm.
And Devolver will be nutty.
Yeah, which is good.
Devolver's always insane, and I love it.
Yep. All right, time for the rumor roundup. A PlayStation showcase may be planned for September to follow this month's State of Play presentation, according to rumors circulating online. That's also the same month as Tokyo Game Show, and there's rumors that they would be announcing a PS5 Pro as well. And then the PS5 Pro has been reportedly ready for release since last year, but the console's launch may have been delayed to coincide with big game releases.
Makes sense.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater may not release this year, as previously revealed, according to rumors. The release looks to be pushed back to 2025, but it really depends on who you're talking to. According to Windows Central's Jez Corden, Microsoft's next generation console will likely be a reference device with a heavy Windows slant for manufacturers to make their own devices, like the Surface Pro 11. Plausible if it's true that the design is being handled by the Surface team. How do you feel about that? Xbox reference design.
Indifferent, kind of.
Yeah, I'm also indifferent because I don't know how that would play out.
Right. It's like, yeah,
it's a hard one. But I could see them doing it.
Yeah. It wouldn't, like, I guess it wouldn't really surprise me.
Xbox is funding 100 Star Games' first project, which will be a AAA single-player action-adventure game built with Unreal Engine 5. 20% of 100 Star's current staff come from Rocksteady.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about the Surface thing. It's just weird. Because it's like saying to make it for a MacBook. Like, that's your comparison. And it's just like, there's good things about it, but there's also trade-offs that are terrible.
Yeah, but it's like it kind of aligns with what direction it feels like Microsoft's wanting to move.
But I could see them doing it from the if they're trying to do what I think that most people are trying to do, kind of going into the next consoles, is to have an on the go and a at home.
Uh-huh.
Then it makes sense to have Surface kind of help like look at things.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of being big, bad, powerful,
well, I think that's maybe it was. I didn't interpret it as it being a mobile device.
I did.
I interpret it as them just being like the console is just a reference design. So like it's still a traditional console, but
I picture it
multiple
being
manufacturers can make it.
Right, and I picture it being it's a reference design, sure. Multiple manufacturers fine. But them saying we want to do this so there's two things.
Mm-hmm.
We want the home and we want this. Do you guys think you can reference design from this to make a more compact, like actual portable type of thing?
Oh, I would.
The Surface team has made Surface Go before, which is like a 9-inch tablet.
I think what I think is probably more likely, and it's going to be somewhere in the middle. You know how like some of these rumors sometimes get convoluted?
Yeah,
like they end up. The rumor is one thing, but then reality actually turns out to be two of the rumors together or something.
Yeah.
I think what is going to happen is I think all the rumors are true, but not in the way we think. I think the Surface team is working on a console, but it's not the Xbox console. I think they're working on a mobile device.
Yeah.
And I think the mobile device will be a reference design like the Xbox version of the Steam Deck that other manufacturers can make.
Yeah.
And we'll still get a traditional Xbox console.
I'd agree with that. I would align with all that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Gamers 2 theory. So, spoken into existence. We'll see it next year.
As it is said, so it shall be written.
Final Fantasy series creator. Oh boy, Hironobu Sakaguchi. I can't fuck him.
You had it.
Sakaguchi?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. His latest game, Fantasian. There's a Fant and an Asian in there, so Fantasian. Could make its way on other platforms very soon, according to rumors circulating. It was exclusive to Apple Arcade. An official PlayStation VR2 PC adapter made by Sony is being certified, according to YouTuber Brad Lynch, who found a listing on the South Korean National Radio Research Agency.
About time.
Agreed.
Would save themselves the launch with it.
Yeah. The launch of Red Dead Redemption on PC may not be imminent after all, as the code strings mentioning this version of the game and the latest version of Rockstar Launcher were likely pushed earlier than intended. Epic Games' next free game is rumored to be Marvel's Midnight Suns, which I think their next one was already... I'm assuming this one means the one after the new one they just came out with, but I don't fucking know. Obviously, I don't know anything. I'm dumb. According to Tom Henderson, YouTube is cracking down on back-end game leakers. Quote, from what I can gather, YouTube has investigated employees breaching their contractual agreements on 2 different occasions in the past 18 months due to employees accessing content on the back end. Following today and presumably SGF, and I'm assuming when he's saying today, he means the Sony showcase, we'll see a third investigation fairly soon. End quote. According to Midori, 2 more projects are in the works at Nintendo, possibly being related to Zelda and Nintendo Switch Sports. And then, no longer a rumor, Toys for Bob has announced that they are partnering with Xbox for publishing their next project. And then finally, Tom Henderson said the Elden Ring DLC preview will be coming on June 4th.
Lots of things, and I got more for you.
Uh-oh.
Bungie has won its lawsuit against cheaters provider Aim Junkies and was awarded $63,000 in damages. Activision won its lawsuit against Cheats manufacturer Engine Owning. The publisher was awarded $14 million in damages and $290,000 in legal fees. Those are 2 very different dollar amounts.
To be fair, There was other details where Bungie had already gotten like, I think it was like 4 million from Aim Junkies for.
Square Enix will be shutting down 2 of its Dragon Quest mobile games in Japan. Action RPG Dragon Quest Champions and puzzle game Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi will be shut down by the end of July. Blaze Entertainment's Evercade console has sold 1 million cartridges 4 years after the initial launch. Sony has removed its recent interview with Neil Druckmann after discovering, quote, several significant errors and inaccuracies, end quote, and has issued an apology. Apology goes, quote, we apologize to Neil for misrepresenting his words and for any negative impact this interview might have caused him and his team. In coordination with Naughty Dog and Sony Interactive Entertainment, we have removed the interview, end quote. Eventually they will release Neil Druckmann interview remastered. Number 6, Netflix and Mojang Studios have announced a new Minecraft animated series made in collaboration with animation studio WildBrain. The series, which has yet to be given a release date, will follow an original story with new characters set in the world of Minecraft. Microsoft has confirmed this year's Call of Duty will launch on Xbox Game Pass alongside its retail and digital versions. Microsoft also confirmed that it will be available on all Xbox Game Pass's tiers.
Good news.
Twitch is reportedly terminating all members of its Safety Advisory Council team. The council formed in 2020 and was originally made up of 9 online safety experts and Twitch partners to consult on drafting new policies, updating current ones, in addition to creating new products and protecting marginalized groups. An Ubisoft Forward event has been set out for June 10th. ZeniMax Studio workers are now covered by Microsoft's labor neutrality agreement with the Communication Workers of America. Tencent's Level Infinite publishing label announced the global release of Tarisland. The free-to-play fantasy MMORPG looks a lot like Blizzard's World of Warcraft, and indeed was first unveiled right after that game went offline in China. It'll launch on PC and mobile June 21st. CD Projekt Red joint CEO Mikhail Novakovsky probably confirmed the studio's goal to increase the cadence of game releases. Hello Games is back with yet another unexpected and interesting No Man's Sky update called Adrift. It will provide an entirely different way to experience the game. In the mode, all other life forms are removed, meaning no shops, no trade, no shortcuts, and no help whatsoever. There are various other changes to make the game more difficult and spooky. Please, Sean, you can make another game. It's okay.
I was like, it got quickly out of hand. All right. I was like, oh, new mode. And then I was like, a little tagline. All right, cool. Then I started reading the article. I'm like, how am I going to sum this up? They it's a fucking...
They made another dimension.
Yeah. They made another universe. It's basically a survival horror game now.
Yeah.
With no one, and it's like, there's creepy music. Like, they made the buildings all fucking decayed and rusted. Like, they changed the entire thing. I'm like, guys, fucking stop at this point.
And Sean's over there just like, do you like me now, please?
Someone like me.
It's like, no, Sean, it's okay. We forgave you years ago, man. You can move on. You can finally rest.
Go get some therapy, bro.
Bethesda Game Studios announced that Fallout 76 reached 20 million players since the November 2018 launch. And Bungie has announced a new Destiny 2 collaboration with Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons franchise starting on June 4th. And then they threatened your hard drives by saying that the Steam and Epic updates for the final shape are 300 gigs.
Jesus.
All right. 7 days. Anything?
I got nothing, I think. What have I done? What have I done? Nothing. I did go to down the road from me. What's that town called?
There's a few of them.
Oriskany.
Nah.
And they have the airplane. There's an airplane
man.
on their park. They have a little park.
Okay.
They have an airplane. It's an A4.
Okay.
And it's from the USS Oriskany aircraft carrier.
Oh, of course.
They also have the anchor from the US Oriskany, which
Seems
I
like
believe
a weird
is
thing to put in your airplane.
CV-32. What's that?
Seems like a weird thing to put in your airplane.
Yeah, it's the whole aircraft carrier thing going on.
Yeah.
So I stopped there with the small child and let him run around. He fucking lost it, bro. I was like, "Do you want to go see?" Because I don't know why I hadn't thought of this yet before, but I was like, "Wait, do you want to go see a real airplane?" And he's like, oh, what do you mean, bro?
Yeah, he starts tweaking.
Yeah, and then like I took him there, and like it's like the parking lot is like a good distance from the plane, and so like he just started fucking booking, and he did not stop. He was just and ran up to it and got all freaked out, and then we went over to the anchor and ran around the anchor for like fucking 20 minutes.
So when do you end up at the base?
Well, that was how I conned him to get back in the car. I was like, this weekend, do you want me to take you to an even bigger airplane? And he was like, yes. Like fucking having a fucking seizure.
Yeah, just absolute mental breakdown.
Yeah, so got to do that. But yeah, I got nothing, bro. I've just been like working and trying to survive life, and it's not glamorous. It's not spectacular.
But it is what it is.
But it is what it is.
I understand that. I feel that.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
75. Actually, no. It's probably closer to like 80% through doing the dining room now.
Yup. Home renovations.
Almost done. Just gotta lack up the next part that we'll do next weekend. Thanks to Matt's tools.
Cutting wood. Thanks to Nate's excuse of buying new tools.
I'm the excuse that allows Matt to get tools.
Yeah.
Which, hey, listen, it's worked out for me. I'll do it all the time.
Yeah.
You just tell me what tool you need. I'll come up with a project that can justify it.
That could be dangerous. And they'll just end up at your house because we don't have room for it.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, I need a whole floor sander, and I don't want to rent one. I have hardwoods now, I guess. But yeah, so that's almost done. Mowing, lawn care,
yeah,
those types of things. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah,
that was my project for. I'm happy to have a room done for the year. Now I've got some outside stuff I want to do. But that is part of it is out of my hands, and then part of it wants me to wait until that other thing is taken care of before I do what I want to do.
Yeah,
because I want to know financial impacts before I do other things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So just a little bit of like waiting games and stuff, and
classic.
And just hopefully enjoying the summer and stop fucking having all this pollen in my nose.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Stuck with it for a while.
Yeah. I've got bug bites all over my hands from mowing.
Yeah, we went for a walk by the canal.
Oof.
And it was great. It was great until we stepped into the shadow of we went to the one end of the canal where the lock is. So like it's all open and bright, and then you get
into the trees.
You get past the lock, and it was like entering the fucking I don't know. Like a different
you can see a
zone.
Wall almost.
Yeah, it's just a wall of mosquitoes. We walked in, it was just like we turned around immediately because we're just getting swarmed. They're fucking on our faces and everything.
Yep. It's all right, never mind. See you guys later.
Yep.
You're gonna have that area. I'm gonna go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the next time I mow, it's all from mowing. I just need to next time I mow just spray up because it's like there's like one right here, and it's just like I've had to bug bites, man. It's that urge like don't. Itch it.
I'm one of those people that does the fucking you stick, cut, put the.
Because you just have that idea that if you shove your nail far enough into it, that it'll release the problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't. I mean, it gives you some relief for a short amount of time.
Yeah, you can feel happy. Then regret.
It comes back. And,
yeah. Sadness. Anyway, next week's going to be a little bit delayed. So it's not going to be 7 days. It's going to be closer to like 10. Because Summer Game Fest is on Friday at 5 o'clock. Followed by Devolver, I believe. Then there's 2 shows minimum on Saturday that we won't be watching live, but we'll be watching the Friday one, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then PC Gamer and Xbox are on Sunday, and we'll record after those because really we don't give a shit about Ubisoft because they're not going to show us what we want. So
yeah, I mean, we'll just leave that until the week after because
yeah,
that's what you've earned, Ubisoft.
yeah, you don't earn to be a seat at the big kid table anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in a little while. Toodaloo, bye bye.